So for all intents and purposes, this build is done, but now it's basically, I'm at the, like, fine-tuning the absolute perfection phase of it. Basically, just to go through it, the last things I want to do. Well, his armor, I want to put on skill leech instead of long range damage. Again, that all increases my anomaly power, so it helps my healing and my AP, which is more important to me than long range damage, because I get more damage from anomaly power, not my blighted rounds. Also, I want to eventually find some sort of apocalyptic boots that are just a perfect roll, that have max health, status power, and skill leech. I don't need the cooldown on my boots because my cooldown's already maxed, so I kind of want to get basically the identical boots I have right now, except with max health, status power, and skill leech, so that I can effectively gain another status power buff, helping my blight fire damage again, toxic damage, and just a freeze duration, which also helps my AoE damage a little bit the longer they're frozen. And then my guns, I actually want to get so since I'm using critical point now, I don't even need legendary guns. I have a tier 1 and a tier 2 mod on my primary, and then a tier 1 on my secondary, so I don't even need a legendary gun. What I want actually is to get basically the identical kinds of guns I have, but once again with totally different attributes. I want weapon leech, status power, and skill leech. Now, I'm not going to give up status power for weapon leech because I'm already super tanky anyway, and I want the status power. But basically that's going to be like down the road, like basically identical guns but with those attributes. And then on my secondary, I want to get dimensional rockets instead of strings of Goss, because since I'm getting crits more, dimensional rockets would be more damage than strings of Goss and more focused damage, which is what I just use that secondary gun for the arbiters because it basically does a little bit more damage than my primary when I'm just focused on a boss. That's the only reason. Most of the time I just use my primary still, since it's good in every situation. So yeah, those would be like the final changes. And just on a final note, I tried experimenting and changed mods in this build and tried to go the dissection top patch tree route. And don't get me wrong, it's good for this Flame Leper, but it was not as good. My focus damage was maybe a little bit better, but my AoE damage was definitely worse. And overall, it was just worse in my opinion. Not by much, honestly, but enough to justify going burrowing charge bottom tree routes. And here's another key difference. In addition to the bottom patch tree just clearly being a little bit better, even if just a little bit better than the top tree, it also is clearly better for team support because it helps your teammates more, and your teammates help you more. So in like group fights, I'm actually able to potentially do even more AoE damage if I'm with like pyros and stuff like that, letting me spam cold snap even more than I usually can. So yeah, had to also mention that too.
Emptiness and try to forget about those energy spikes? The insurgents had a functioning power cell down here.
What did you do with it?
Outrider detected.
I'll see if
Access
Zahidi
granted.
can't take a look at it. And if